Listen closely, because what I am about to tell you will shatter everything you thought you knew about your own body. You think you are entirely human. You look in the mirror and see a human face. But the brutal truth is, from a genetic standpoint, you are only 10% human. 90% of the DNA inside your body right now belongs to bacteria. You are essentially a walking, talking, fleshy spaceship for trillions of microscopic organisms. And the multi-billion-dollar food industry knows this exact biological mechanism. They are actively using it to manipulate you. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with an intense, uncontrollable craving for sugar? You probably blamed yourself. You thought you were weak. You thought you lacked willpower. But they refused to tell you the reality. That craving was not yours. You were blindly following the orders of a microscopic army that has hijacked your brain. Today I am going to expose how these bacteria use neurotoxins to control your mind. And I will give you the gold standard protocol to reset your microbiome and take back control of your physiological barrier in just 72 hours. Right now, there is a brutal war happening inside your stomach. Most people think of their gut as just a simple tube that digests food. In reality, your gut microbiome is a highly complex hidden organ. It weighs as much as your brain and holds incredible power over your entire biological system. Let me introduce you to the vagus nerve. For decades, scientists believed the brain was the undisputed master of the body, sending commands down to the organs. But the horrifying truth is, the vagus nerve is not a one-way street. It is a massive biological superhighway, and 80% of the traffic on this highway is traveling from your gut up to your brain. In other words, your gut is doing most of the talking. Imagine your gut bacteria as millions of tiny chemical factories. When you eat a diet heavy in ultra-processed foods and refined sugars, you are not feeding yourself. You are feeding a very specific pathogenic strain of bacteria. You are actively breeding an army of sugar-loving zombies inside your own physiological barrier. And it does not stop there. Once these bad bacteria multiply, they become hungry for more. But they cannot walk to the fridge themselves, so they use molecular biology against you. They release specific biochemical reactions and chemical messengers directly into your vagus nerve. These messengers travel straight up to your brain and bind to your neurons, altering your mood and generating intense artificial cravings. They literally hijack the reward centers of your brain. Have you ever tried to go on a strict diet, only to fail miserably after 3 days, feeling miserable and exhausted? I have been there too. And I used to feel so much guilt and anger. But you have to understand, this is not a placebo effect, and it is not a lack of discipline. It is a deeply ingrained physiological response. When you stop feeding these pathogenic bacteria, they panic. They start to die off. And as they die, they release potent neurotoxins that cross the gut barrier and enter your bloodstream. These neurotoxins reach your nervous system and cause systemic inflammation, brain fog, and severe fatigue. They are literally punishing you for not feeding them. This is the trap the food industry wants to keep you in forever. They engineer foods to perfectly nourish these exact strains of bacteria, ensuring that you remain chemically addicted to their products. They are silently destroying your health while profiting off your biological hijacking. Let us dive deeper into the clinical research behind this phenomenon. Every time you consume those brightly packaged snacks, you are introducing alien compounds that your body was never evolved to process. These artificial emulsifiers and synthetic sweeteners bypass your normal digestive enzymes. They travel down into the dark depths of your large intestine, where the bacterial colonies reside. The beneficial bacteria, the ones that produce vitamins and protect your immune system, cannot feed on this synthetic garbage. They begin to starve and die off. Meanwhile, the pathogenic bacteria feast. They multiply at terrifying rates, outcompeting the good guys for space and resources. This creates a state of severe dysbiosis. Your internal ecosystem becomes a toxic wasteland. And as these bad bacteria dominate, they begin to attack the very lining of your gut. They degrade the protective mucus layer that serves as your ultimate physiological barrier against the outside world. This barrier is only 1 cell thick. Let me repeat that. The only thing separating your sterile bloodstream from a toxic soup of digesting food and bacteria is a microscopic wall exactly 1 single cell in thickness. When the bad bacteria drill through this wall, they create microscopic holes. This is the terrifying reality of leaky gut syndrome. Undigested food particles, bacterial waste products, and neurotoxins spill directly into your blood. Your immune system goes into a state of absolute panic. It launches a massive inflammatory response, trying to fight off what it perceives as a deadly systemic infection. This chronic, low-grade inflammation is the silent killer behind almost every modern disease, from autoimmune conditions to severe depression. Your brain is intimately connected to this chaos. The neuroinflammation caused by this leaky gut directly alters the function of your neurons. You feel heavy. You feel unmotivated. You cannot focus. You are caught in a cycle of biological despair, perfectly orchestrated by the very food you trusted. But I'm here to tell you that the awakening is possible. You can reverse this damage. You can seal the leaks and rebuild your internal empire. But here is the craziest part. You have the ultimate power to stop this madness. The lifespan of these pathogenic bacteria is incredibly short. Some of them only live for 20 minutes. This means you do not need years to fix this. You can literally starve them to death and completely reset your microbiome in just 72 hours. Let us talk about the biological reset. When you suddenly cut off their supply of processed sugar and synthetic chemicals, they will go into a frenzy. They will launch a desperate counterattack. They will release a massive wave of chemical messengers up your vagus nerve, screaming for you to eat junk food. This is the critical moment. This is what we call the healing crisis. For the first 2 days, you will feel exhausted. You will experience intense cravings. You might even get a headache. But you must understand this is not your body failing. This is the feeling of those sugar-loving zombies dying off by the billions. They are releasing their final toxic payload as they perish. You have to push through the storm. Once you survive this initial die-off, you can begin the ultimate biological reconstruction. You need to activate your internal cleanup machine. You are going to flood your system with the gold standard of cellular healing. I am talking about prebiotics and polyphenols. These are the biological building blocks that the multi-billion-dollar food industry desperately wants you to ignore. Prebiotics are tough, indigestible plant fibers. Your stomach acid cannot break them down. Your human digestive enzymes cannot touch them. They travel perfectly intact all the way down to your large intestine. And there they serve as the ultimate superfood for your beneficial bacteria. When you feed the good guys, they rapidly multiply and begin to reclaim their territory. They produce short-chain fatty acids specifically, a miracle compound called butyrate. Butyrate is a biological marvel. It acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory agent. It signals your intestinal cells to tighten their junctions, physically sealing the microscopic holes in your gut lining. It completely reverses leaky gut syndrome and reconstructs your physiological barrier. At the same time, you must introduce polyphenols. These are the dark, rich pigments found in wild blueberries, dark chocolate, and green tea. To the pathogenic bacteria, these polyphenols are toxic. They act as a natural defense mechanism, destroying the bad microbes. But to your beneficial bacteria, they are a source of incredible strength and energy. As your healthy microbiome flourishes, a profound physiological shift occurs. Your body literally undergoes a biological awakening. the chronic inflammation subsides. The neurotoxins are finally flushed out of your bloodstream. And this is when the true magic happens inside your brain. Did you know that 90% of your serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for happiness and well-being, is not produced in your brain? It is manufactured right there in your gut by your newly revived microbial allies. Furthermore, they produce a massive amount of gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA, which is the primary calming chemical for your nervous system. When your gut is healed, the brain fog evaporates, your anxiety diminishes, your natural energy levels skyrocket. You are no longer a hostage to artificial chemical cravings. You have successfully taken back control of your nervous system. You have resurrected your biological empire. You are now operating at a level of mental clarity and physical vitality that most people will never experience, because they are trapped in the cycle of consumption. You have defeated the invisible enemy. You have rewritten your biological destiny at the molecular level. The next time you walk past a bakery and you feel that sudden, intense urge to eat a sugary donut, I want you to stop and remember this exact moment. That craving is not you. It is the dying whisper of a pathogenic parasite begging for its life. Let it starve. Look at your body as the sacred biological vessel it is. You are the absolute commander of your cellular matrix. If this biological truth opened your eyes and helped you understand your own body better, then hit that subscribe button right now. Join our community of awakened individuals who refuse to be blindly manipulated by the system. Share this knowledge with someone who is struggling with their health and their weight, because it might just save their life. Leave a comment below and tell me what one thing you are going to change today. But do not get comfortable just yet. Next week, I am going to expose the horrifying truth about the healthy breakfast that you eat every single morning. I will show you exactly how it is silently destroying your insulin receptors and locking fat into your cells. You absolutely do not want to miss that.